What happens when Hollywood's most devout leading man walks into a talk show ready to challenge his faith? Jonathan Roumie, beloved for his portrayal of Jesus in The Chosen, thought he was stepping onto The View for a routine chat about his latest project. But what unfolded was a fiery showdown that left the audience stunned, producers scrambling, and social media in a frenzy. This wasn't just an interview gone wrong. It was a battle over belief, authenticity, and the role of faith in public life that would spark debates across the globe. Subscribe now and drop a comment, because this story explodes with every word, and you won't believe how it unfolds. Jonathan Roumie stepped onto The View's set, greeted by a wave of applause from the audience, ready to discuss his new season of The Chosen. Whoopi Goldberg, flanked by her co-hosts, kicked off the segment with a broad smile, welcoming him with a nod. But her tone carried a hint of something sharp, something waiting to pounce. "Welcome to The View, Jonathan. Glad you're here," Whoopi said. Her voice smooth but with an edge. "We're excited to talk about The Chosen. But I've got to say, I've been dying to dive into some of your recent comments about faith in Hollywood." Jonathan nodded, his voice calm. "Thanks for having me, Whoopi. I'm happy to talk about the show. It's a project close to my heart, and I'm ready to share what it means to me." "Oh, I bet it is," Whoopi replied, leaning forward. "But let's get real. You've been pretty vocal about your Christianity, saying it's the backbone of your work. Don't you think that's a bit much for a business that's supposed to be about entertainment, not preaching?" The audience shifted, sensing the shift from friendly to confrontational. As Jonathan responded, his tone steady, "I don't see it as preaching, Whoopi. I see it as living my truth. The Chosen tells a story about Jesus that resonates with millions. It's about connection, not conversion." "Connection," Whoopi repeated, her voice tinged with sarcasm. "But come on, Jonathan. Isn't it a little convenient to lean into this Jesus role when it's making you famous? I mean, are you an actor or a missionary?" Jonathan's posture stiffened, but he kept his cool. "I'm an actor who believes in what I'm portraying. Whoopi, my faith isn't a marketing ploy. It's who I am, and the show's success comes from its authenticity, not from pushing an agenda." Whoopi raised an eyebrow. "Authenticity, that's a big word. But let's be honest. Your show's got a clear Christian slant, and you're out here acting like it's universal. Don't you think that alienates people who don't buy into the whole Jesus thing?" The audience murmured, some nodding, others tensing, as Jonathan replied, "I think stories about love, sacrifice, and redemption speak to everyone, regardless of what they believe. The Chosen isn't about forcing faith. It's about showing humanity." "Humanity," Whoopi scoffed. "But isn't it just a fancy way of selling Christianity to the masses? I mean, you're playing Jesus, Jonathan. That's not exactly subtle. It's like you're trying to convert people through Netflix." Jonathan shook his head, his voice firm. "I'm not trying to convert anyone, Whoopi. I'm telling a story that's been true for 2,000 years. And it's resonating because people are hungry for meaning, not because I'm pushing a sermon." Whoopi leaned back, her smile sharp, meaning, "Sure, but let's talk about this faith of yours. You've said you pray before every scene. You talk about God like he's your director. Don't you think that's a bit much for an industry that's supposed to be secular?" The audience stirred, some clapping for Whoopi's jab as Jonathan countered. "Why is it too much to bring my beliefs to my work? I don't hide who I am. And neither do you, Whoopi. You've got your views, I've got mine. The difference is I'm not mocking anyone else's." "Mocking," Whoopi said, her voice rising. "I'm not mocking. I'm asking questions, Jonathan. Questions a lot of us have, like, why do we need another Jesus show in 2025 when half the world doesn't even believe in that stuff?" Jonathan's eyes narrowed, his voice steady but pointed. "You say you're asking questions, but it sounds like you're dismissing millions of people's beliefs. The Chosen isn't just for Christians. It's for anyone who sees value in stories about forgiveness and hope. Why does that threaten you?" Whoopi laughed, a sharp sound. "Threaten me? Oh, please, nothing threatens me. I just think it's funny how you act like your faith makes you some moral authority, like the rest of us are just lost without it." The audience gasped, sensing the line being crossed, as Jonathan replied, "I never claimed to be a moral authority. Whoopi, I'm an actor telling a story. But you're the one sitting here judging my faith like it's a problem. Why can't you just let people believe what they believe?" Whoopi waved a hand, "Because when you bring that belief into the public square, Jonathan, it's not just personal, it's political. You're pushing a worldview that's been used to control people for centuries." Jonathan leaned forward, his voice intense. "That's where you're wrong, Whoopi. My faith isn't about control, it's about freedom. Freedom to love, to forgive, to be better. And The Chosen shows that. But you're reducing it to a caricature to score points." Whoopi's co-hosts exchanged uneasy glances, one trying to interject. "Maybe we should talk about the new season." But Whoopi cut her off. "No, I want to hear this, Jonathan. Tell me, how's it freedom when your show's all about a guy who's supposed to save everyone? Sounds like a sales pitch to me." Jonathan shook his head, his voice firm. "It's not a sales pitch. It's a story about a man who stood for compassion in a world that was cruel. Something we could use more of today, don't you think?" The audience clapped, some cheering, as Whoopi's smile tightened. "Cruelty, you want to talk cruelty? How about a religion that's been used to justify wars? Oppression, you name it, and you're out here glorifying it?" Jonathan's voice rose, his passion clear. "You're cherry-picking history to make a point, Whoopi. Every belief system's been misused. But that doesn't negate its truth. I'm not glorifying anything. I'm showing the Jesus I know, the one who lifted people up, not tore them down." Whoopi shot back, "Lifted people up. That's rich. You're playing a character, Jonathan, not saving souls. And yet you talk like you're on a mission from God. Don't you think that's a little delusional?" The audience gasped again, the tension spiking. As Jonathan replied, "Delusional? No. What's delusional is thinking you can dismiss millions of people's faith and call it journalism. You invited me here to talk about my work, but you're attacking my beliefs to get a reaction." Whoopi leaned forward, her voice sharp. "I'm attacking hypocrisy, Jonathan. You can't just waltz in here with your Jesus halo and expect us not to call it out. People are tired of being preached to." Jonathan stood, his voice steady but commanding. "I'm not preaching, Whoopi. I'm defending my right to believe, to create art that reflects my faith. You're the one turning this into a fight, and for what? To prove you're right." The audience murmured, some clapping, as Whoopi stood to match him, her voice rising. "This is my show, Jonathan, and I get to ask the tough questions. If you can't handle it, maybe you shouldn't be here." Jonathan shook his head. "I can handle questions, but this isn't questioning, it's mocking. And it's not just me you're mocking, it's everyone who finds meaning in faith." The studio fell silent, the producers frozen, as the clash teetered on the edge of something explosive, the audience waiting for what would come next. Jonathan Roumie stood firm on the View's set, his presence commanding despite the storm brewing around him, as Whoopi Goldberg pushed her attack, her voice sharp and unrelenting, determined to corner him on live TV. The audience held their breath, caught in the crossfire of a clash that had turned a promotional segment into a raw debate over faith and authenticity, with producers scrambling to keep the show on track. This was no longer about The Chosen. It was a showdown that could redefine both their legacies, and the next few words would decide who held the upper hand. Subscribe and comment below, because this fight is about to hit a new peak, and you won't see the end coming. "I'm not mocking anyone, Jonathan. I'm calling it like I see it," Whoopi said, her tone biting. "You come on here playing Jesus, talking about faith like it's the answer to everything. But what about the people who don't need your religion to find meaning? You think they're just wrong?" Jonathan shook his head, his voice steady. "I never said anyone's wrong, Whoopi. I said The Chosen tells a story about love and hope. It's not about telling people what to believe. It's about showing what's possible when you open your heart." "Open your heart," Whoopi replied, her words dripping with sarcasm. "That sounds nice, but let's be real. Your show's a love letter to Christianity, and you're out here acting like it's for everybody. Don't you think that's a little dishonest?" Jonathan stepped closer, his voice firm. "Dishonest? No. What's dishonest is you inviting me here to talk about my work and then turning it into an attack on my faith. I'm not here to sell religion. I'm here to share a story. Why can't you respect that? Whoopi waved her hand. Respect. I respect plenty. But when you bring your Jesus into the mainstream, you're not just telling a story. You're pushing a narrative, one that's been used to judge and exclude people for centuries. Jonathan's voice rose. You're the one judging right now, Whoopi. You're dismissing millions of people who find strength in their faith. You call it a narrative. I call it a truth that's carried me through my darkest days, and it's carrying millions through theirs. Whoopi laughed, a sharp bark. Truth, your truth, maybe. But what about the rest of us who don't need a 2,000-year-old carpenter to tell us how to live? You think we're just lost without your God? Jonathan replied, I think you're lost when you mock what gives people hope. The Chosen isn't about forcing belief. It's about showing a man who loved without judgment. Something you could learn from right now. The co-hosts shifted, one trying to jump in. Maybe we should talk about the show's impact, but Whoopi cut her off. No, I want to hear this, Jonathan. You say it's about love, but your faith's been used to hurt people, to push laws, to shut down progress. You don't get to just smile and say it's all about hope. Jonathan's voice hardened. You're painting with a broad brush, Whoopi. Every belief gets twisted by someone. But I'm not here defending politics. I'm defending my right to tell a story that matters to me. Why does that make you so angry? Whoopi shot back, angry. I'm not angry. I'm tired of people like you acting like faith makes you better than everyone else. Like your Jesus is the only path to being a good person. Jonathan shook his head. I never said I'm better than anyone. I'm saying faith guides me. It's why I can play this role with honesty. But you're the one acting like your view is the only one that counts. Who's really being judgmental here? Whoopi stood, her voice climbing. Judgmental. I'm just asking you to own what you're doing, Jonathan. You're not just an actor. You're a spokesman for a religion that's got a lot of baggage. And you're dodging it by hiding behind your show. Jonathan matched her stance. I'm not dodging anything. I'm standing here answering your attacks. You invited me to talk about the Chosen, but you're using it to tear down what I believe. That's not questioning. That's bullying. Whoopi's voice spiked. Bullying? Oh please, I'm giving you a platform. And you're whining because I'm not rolling out the red carpet for your sermon. You want to talk faith, fine, but don't expect me to buy it. Jonathan replied, I don't need you to buy it, Whoopi. I need you to stop twisting it. You're not challenging me. You're mocking something sacred to millions, and you're doing it for applause. The audience stirred, some clapping for Jonathan, others for Whoopi, as the tension hit a breaking point. You want to talk sacred, Whoopi said, her tone sharp. Let's talk about how your sacred show's making millions. You're not exactly giving it away like Jesus would, are you? Jonathan's voice cut through. Money. That's your angle now. The Chosen is crowdfunded by people who believe in it. I don't take a dime more than I earn. But you're sitting here on your $1 million set, calling me out for profit. Who's really hiding behind their platform? Whoopi's voice trembled. Don't turn this on me, Jonathan. I'm not the one claiming to be holy. I'm just saying your faith doesn't get a free pass just because you play Jesus. Jonathan replied, and I'm saying your skepticism doesn't give you the right to mock what people hold dear. You want to talk about my role? Let's talk. But stop attacking what I stand for. Whoopi pointed at him. I'm attacking hypocrisy, Jonathan. You can't just waltz in here with your halo and expect us to bow down. People are tired of being preached at, and I'm calling it out. Jonathan shook his head. You're not calling out hypocrisy. You're creating a fight where there doesn't need to be one. I came here to share my work, not to defend my soul, but you're making it personal. Why? The co-hosts tried again. Maybe we should take a break, but Whoopi waved them off. No, let's finish this, Jonathan. You want to talk faith? Tell me why your God's better than anyone else's, or are you just here to sell your show? Jonathan's voice rose. I'm not selling anything. I'm standing up for what I believe. You're the one turning this into a circus, and you're about to find out it's not just me you're fighting. It's everyone who's ever found hope in something bigger than themselves. Jonathan Roumie stood poised at the edge of the view set, his voice still ringing with conviction after a heated exchange that had turned a promotional appearance into a battlefield of belief, with Whoopi Goldberg's sharp accusations pushing him to defend his faith on live TV. The audience sat riveted, caught in the intensity of a clash that had stripped away the show's usual polish, revealing raw truths about faith, authenticity, and the cost of public confrontation. Producers hovered in the control room, their frantic whispers drowned out by the weight of the moment, as the cameras captured every word, every pause, ready to immortalize this showdown. Subscribe and comment below, because this is where the truth comes to light, and the fallout will change everything you thought you knew about this fight. You're not just defending your faith, Jonathan. You're shoving it in everyone's faces, Whoopi said, her voice sharp. You come here acting like your Jesus show is some universal truth, but it's just one story, and not everyone's buying it. Why can't you admit that? Jonathan shook his head. I've never claimed it's the only story, Whoopi. I'm saying it's a story that matters to millions, and you're the one turning it into a problem. Why can't you let people find meaning where they find it? Whoopi pointed at him. Because when you bring that meaning into my studio, it's not just personal, it's a statement. You're telling people your way's the right way, and I'm not here for it. Jonathan replied, I'm telling people there's hope in faith, in love, in compassion. That's what The Chosen is about. But you're twisting it into something it's not. Why does that scare you so much? Whoopi's voice climbed. Scare me? Nothing scares me, Jonathan. I'm just tired of people using religion to act superior. You're out here playing Jesus like you're the second coming, and you expect us to just nod along? Jonathan stepped forward, his voice steady. I don't expect you to nod along. I expect you to have a real conversation. But you're not interested in that. You're interested in tearing down what I believe to get a reaction. That's not hosting. That's performing. The audience clapped, some cheering loudly, as Whoopi shot back. Performing? Oh, please. I'm asking the questions people want answers to. Like why you think your faith gives you a pass to preach on my show. Jonathan's voice hardened. I'm not preaching. I'm answering your attacks. You invited me here to talk about The Chosen. But you're using it to mock something sacred to me, to millions. Why is that your go-to move? Whoopi waved her hand. Because your sacred isn't everyone's sacred, Jonathan. Some of us don't need a Bible to know right from wrong, and you're acting like we're missing out if we don't buy into your God. Jonathan replied, I'm not saying you're missing out. I'm saying you don't get to dismiss what gives people hope. You call it a Bible. I call it a guide that's helped me through addiction, through doubt, through failure, and it's helping others too. Whoopi laughed. A harsh sound. Helped you, sure. But what about the people your religion's hurt? The ones judged, shunned. You don't get to ignore that just because you're a nice guy on TV. Jonathan's voice rose. I'm not ignoring anything. I'm saying faith isn't about judgment. It's about redemption. But you're too busy judging me to see that. You're proving my point right now. A co-host tried to cut in. Maybe we should talk about the new season's impact. But Whoopi shut it down. No, we're not done, Jonathan. You want to talk redemption. Tell me how your show's redeeming a world that's moved past needing a savior. Jonathan shook his head, moved past. Whoopi, look around. People are hurting. They're looking for meaning. And The Chosen gives them a glimpse of something bigger. You can mock it, but you can't take that away from them. Whoopi pointed at him. I'm not mocking them. I'm questioning you. You're the one standing here like you've got all the answers because you play Jesus. That's not humility, that's arrogance. Jonathan replied, arrogance, no. What's arrogant is thinking you can tear down someone's faith on live TV and call it truth. I came here to share my work, not to fight, but you're making it a war. Whoopi's voice spiked. A war? You're the one who started it, Jonathan. Coming in here with your holy roller act, expecting us to just clap like it's a sermon. I'm not buying it, and neither is my audience. Jonathan turned to the crowd, his voice steady. I'm not asking you to buy anything. I'm asking you to see through this. To see who's trying to have a real conversation and who's turning faith into a punchline. I'm here because I believe in what I do, and I won't let it be mocked for ratings. The audience erupted, some cheering, others shouting support, as Whoopi shouted, ratings. You think this is about ratings? I'm giving people the truth, Jonathan. The truth that not everyone needs your God to be whole. Jonathan replied, and I'm saying not everyone needs your skepticism to be free. You're fighting a battle you don't need to fight, and you're losing because you're fighting against hope. Whoopi stood, her voice shaking, losing. I'm not losing anything, Jonathan. But if you can't handle the heat, you can leave my show right now. I don't need this. Jonathan shook his head. I'll leave, Whoopi, not because you're kicking me out, but because I won't stand here and let you mock what millions hold dear. I came to talk about The Chosen, not to be your punching bag. He turned to the audience, his voice calm but powerful. I want you to remember this. Remember who tried to share something real and who turned it into a fight. Faith isn't about winning. It's about standing for what's true, even when it's hard. The crowd roared, some standing as Jonathan walked off, his steps deliberate, leaving Whoopi standing alone, her face tight with frustration. Whoopi sat back down, trying to pivot. We'll be right back after this break. But her voice lacked its usual spark. The audience's applause weak, scattered. The cameras cut away, but the moment was already viral. Clips flooding social media with hashtags like #JonathanVsWhoopi. Fans praising Roumie's calm defense of faith. Others slamming Whoopi for turning a guest spot into an attack. News outlets called it a historic TV moment, with headlines like Jonathan Roumie shuts down Whoopi's faith rant, and The View's clash goes too far. Roumie's exit became a symbol of standing firm, his words about hope and truth resonating with millions, while Whoopi's team issued a vague apology about heated debates, doing little to quell the backlash. The fallout reshaped perceptions, with Roumie's authenticity shining, his faith-driven career stronger than ever, while Whoopi's credibility took a hit, her attack seen as petty, not principled. This clash would echo for years, a reminder that faith, when defended with grace, could outshine even the loudest skepticism, leaving Roumie as the victor in a battle he never wanted, but one he won with unwavering conviction.
Thank you for watching our channel Modern Stories. If you liked our video, you should subscribe for more amazing videos like this. Have a healthy and happy day. See you in the next one.